Alright guys, so I just thought I'd make this video showing you guys my new camera. It's a Canon Rebel T3, and I got it for my birthday. My birthday was on October 21st. This camera is, I believe it's a 12.2 megapixel sensor. It's a CMOS sensor. I got two lenses for it. I got the stock lens that came with it, which is the 18 to 55 millimeter semi-tele. It's an IS lens. It's also got some half decent macro capabilities at 0.25 of a meter or zero point 0.8 of a foot. So it seems to work pretty good for that. It's not a macro lens by any means. And then I also bought the 50 millimeter prime lens, which is a good lens. It's pretty good glass, but it's cheap. It was only like $100, something like that. After tax, I think it was like 135. But I'm actually debating whether or not I should return it. I mean, it's good glass, but it is cheap. They call it the Fantastic Plastic Nifty 50. It's a good glass for beginners, but it is cheap. I'm thinking about maybe returning it and getting the 1.4 f-stop. But anyways, so that lens, like I said, 135. This one's a $300 lens, but I'm sure you can find it cheaper than that. I've seen people sell them used for $100. Some guy has an older one that he dropped. I don't know if it's the IS lens or not, but same specs as it goes for the f-stop and the focal range. Exactly the same, but he dropped it. Now he said the autofocus will work when you have the camera nice and warmed up, but if it's cold you gotta manually focus it. He only wants like 25 bucks for it, so I think I might pick it up. I don't know. Here's the camera itself. It is a EOS Rebel T3. It's a nice camera. It works pretty good, and I like it. It's a great beginner camera. I do believe this is a crop sensor. It's not a full frame sensor, so if you're using like the 50 mil, it'll crop it to like an 85 mil. That's what the equivalent will be. So you can see you got all your controls at the back here. The selector wheel. I usually shoot in manual, and if I'm going for like a fast shot, it'll be in AV mode. This here is your selector wheel. That's really handy when you're looking through the viewfinder. The camera comes with this really nice neck strap, but I'll probably end up replacing this with a black Rapid pretty soon. So installing the lens on this camera is really easy. You just twist off your cap here and it'll just come right off. Try not to do this in a dusty environment, as you can get dust in on your mirror. So you just want to take your lens. We'll take the kit lens here, and on this lens here, since it is an EFS lens, it has a white marking here. This lens here has a red marking since it is just an EF lens. You'll notice on your camera body right here is the red marking, here is a white marking. It's basically line up the markings and just twist it till you hear that click. Just give it a little wiggle. To remove the lens, very important, this doesn't have a lock on it, so you can just remove it. But when you're removing the lens, you want to push this button and then twist just like that, and then out comes your lens. So we'll put this lens on. These two caps here, they'll actually screw into each other just like that for easy storage. This is a kit lens, very small opening there for the aperture, nothing too special. And if you're wondering why I bought a 50 millimeter lens, a prime lens at that, when the semi-tele covers 18 to 55, the reason is that there's less glass, meaning you'll get a sharper image, and you also get that nice wide f-stop. Because if you take a quick look at this lens here, you'll notice the part with the aperture is very small, whereas if you look at this 50 millimeter prime lens, you can see it is a very large opening there for the aperture, meaning you'll get that really nice bokeh effect. So I first started out shooting using something like this. I actually still do have my very first digital camera, which was from 2004, and it was an HP. And it was only 5 megapixels and required 2 AA batteries to operate. But this camera here is kind of what got me started into photography. Got this in 2010. I later moved on to a Canon A3300 IS, which is what I'm using to record right now. And after that, this year I bought a Fujifilm FinePix S1800, I want to say. Can't remember the exact model. It's a bridge camera, so it's better than a point and shoot, but it isn't quite DSLR. So I finally ended up getting DSLR, and I really do like photography. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys some shots that I've taken with this camera, and you guys can judge for the quality. Some of them were taken with the 18 to 55, and I'll note which ones were taken with the 18 to 55 and which ones were taken with the 50 millimeter. And at the end of this video, after I come back from showing you guys the photos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a quick little sample video taken with the 50 millimeter, as a 50 millimeter lens is a lot better for video than that of the 18 to 55. Reason being is it just captures more light with that low f-stop. So here's the pictures, enjoy. Alright, so right now you can see my dog there. Nice shot. There's a doorknob while it was raining, black and white, to add a little bit of emotion to the photo. Chainsaw, 1976 home light, and just a random bug I found in the grass. Alright, so we're back. Hope you guys enjoyed those photos. And my verdict on this camera, I like it. It's great for beginners, you know. If you're looking for a beginner camera, you can pick these up quite cheap. This one was around $400. So it's not quite that expensive for an entry-level DSLR. Competitor to this would be a lower-end Nikon, but I prefer the company Canon. All of my cameras now are actually through Canon, so I prefer to stick with the company. And my verdict on the 50 millimeter lens, you know, it's a great lens for beginner. I'm contemplating whether or not I should return it and get the 1.4. But if you just need a cheap 50 mil lens, maybe you're doing some light portraits, you know, then by all means I'd buy it. You know, I don't regret buying it at all because it's a great lens. Just I'm not sure if it's right for me. So up next will just be the little final closing sample video with a 50 mil lens. Please be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. I really do appreciate the comments a lot, so don't forget to do that. Anyways, if you guys want to know anything else about this camera, you can send me a PM or comment on this video. Thanks for watching. This was another video by Pimpin' Pens. Take it easy, guys.